I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. She recently finished up touring on the international tour of Cats, performing as Rumpleteazer. So welcome, Ella Kemp, and thank you for joining me.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Yeah, excited to hear. This is an interesting tour because it's like deemed the UK tour, but you were all international. And it was the tour that picked up because it was the one that was canceled during the pandemic. And it seems like this is a lot of stops that were brought back. So I want to hear a little bit about the tour. But before we do that, I always love starting with your history of Cats. So what was the first time you saw the show? What was your first experience with it? Was it a while ago? Was it recent? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah. So before, I kind of always knew of how iconic Cats was. Like memory, like I always knew of it, and I knew of the musical. I studied it in college. We did quite a bit of like work on like workshops and things. So I definitely knew of like how big of a show Cats was. And my mum had seen it when it was in London, and she thought it was incredible. But I never actually got a chance to see it live. And I'd always kind of watched the like clips on YouTube of like White Cat Solo, like the iconic Cats material, and always looked up to it. Even from like a young age, I kind of was like, that's incredible that she can just like keep her leg up there and things.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people kind of know of like, or have watched Mistopheles or White Cat. Like I think they're the most iconic kind of pieces in the show, as well as memory, obviously. So yeah, I knew a lot of Cats, but I would never see myself in it. But yeah.
So okay, so it's so interesting because it's a lot of times it's like I hear answers are usually either the 1998 movie was like, you know, you watch the VHS of it over and over and over again, or the scenario like you're saying, which is everyone kind of knows about it. You have to kind of have heard of it, but you didn't really have a chance to see it. So you've never saw it full through until you were cast in it?
I had seen both movies.
Okay.
So I'd seen the like original one, and I'd seen the newer one. I think I was very young when I saw the original though. But they're the clips that I watched on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because it's just easy access. Like, just Google it, and it's like you get all these incredible videos and just watch them for hours. But yeah, and I feel like Cats is so well known, even in people who aren't in this kind of industry. If you say you're in Cats, people are like, oh, like everyone kind of knows of what Cats is, which is just like crazy to me.
Yeah.
So cool.
You said that you never envisioned yourself in it. What was that experience like when you auditioned and kind of realized that this is going to be a reality?
Yeah, I kind of, when I got the audition through, I was like, really? Like, I was like so excited, and I was like, wow, this is crazy to me, that to be in a room for Cats, let alone like get the job, like just to be auditioning for it was crazy. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And when we were learning the material in the audition, I was like, this is like crazy. Like Chris Cartwright is here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I definitely never kind of thought before, like beyond the audition, I never would have put myself in that. But then the closer and closer I got to doing it, I was like, really wanted it. Like, I didn't tell any of my friends I was auditioning for it because I put so much pressure on myself for it. I was like, I don't want people to know, and it's like such a big show. And but then, yeah, it was, the whole experience was so, it was also so quick, like the whole process. And still, it's crazy to me that I was a cat.
Yeah. So I want to go to that audition, not audition process, but like the rehearsals and learning the stories. One thing I've been overly fascinated with is what you're told about the story and your characters and the 3 words if you get them and stuff like that. So as someone who's essentially kind of new to Cats, besides knowing the main thing, and you're going through this process with a Chrissy Cartwright, what was that experience like for you? And what do you remember of what you were told about like the story of Cats?
Yeah, I think it was on like the very first day of, like even in the auditions, you kind of get, when you're doing the material, you do kind of get the whole, like what your intention should be and like the rough, what's going on and what you think about. So you kind of have that already, just from auditioning. And then on the first day, we all kind of like introduce ourselves and say who you're going to play, and you meet your, like who you're going to be with and spend a year with, basically.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of went into a room, sat in a big circle, and you get Cats, like just so much information and about the storyline, the like main like motives of the show, and you get like a breakdown of each character. So we got like what that cat's supposed to be like and what their kind of sorry, I'm trying to think of the word, like what their point is, what they give to the story, if that makes sense. That took me so long to get. But yeah, so you kind of then realize, oh, so she's like really, like with Rumple, I was like, oh, she's naughty and cheeky, and you get all the little keywords given to you, and it's kind of in yourself what you choose to do with your words or what you're told. So we all have, it's a lot of improv in Cats, just to find the character that you want, especially in the first week of rehearsals. It's a lot of trying to figure out like what Rumple would do, or who she'd hang around with, who her friends would be, and who she'd have connections with in the show. And you build on that the more and more that you do the show. It becomes second nature. Like you start doing everything with pause or sitting in the most random positions. But yeah, it's definitely, you definitely do get given a lot of information at the start. And you get your words or your the key things you want to portray to the audience, and a really in-depth kind of breakdown of the show and why things are done, why certain numbers are in there. And it's crazy to think of how it's amazing when they tell you all this information of how much everything has a purpose and a meaning, especially in Cats. Every movement is thought about. Everything is just done perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I've also felt like the staging is in, like, there's a lot of intent behind like where people stand. And so it's one of those shows that, you know, when it gets criticism, it's ignoring some of that kind of really interesting pieces to it. I want to hear from you though. You kind of mentioned, what were you told about Rumpleteazer, and then what did you improv as relationships and stuff that you had to add after? Like, what did you pick up throughout the year?
Yeah. So I kind of always got like the main thing of Rumple is she's cheeky, she's naughty, she's fun. She's a little kitten who just likes to cause a bit of trouble. And I think most people think that Mungo and Rumple are siblings or brother and sister, but they're actually not. It's more of a flirty, fun kind of relationship that they have, which I do think some people may think of it as being a sibling relationship, which kind of, I get why. I did when I first kind of saw it. But then it kind of, we get given all this, especially when you're learning the number, you get told like, oh, she's really like flirty on this part, or this is supposed to be really cheeky, or this is supposed to be quite cute, or you do get given like certain areas where it has to be. You have to portray that because that's what the story is. That makes Rumple's character. But the more that we ran the show as a whole, the more you'd be sitting somewhere and be like, oh, I think yeah, well, Rumple would definitely, like, I don't know, have a little cheeky interaction with Bill Bailey at this point, or be a bit cheeky with Mungo because she always is. Or Tugger, like, we always made Rumple and Tugger very, like, she adores him. Like, all the kittens love Tugger, which is the whole little gather around him and scream bit, which was always, like, one of my highlights of the show. But, yeah, it's kind of just creating that. And you find that the more you do it, it's... And also sometimes on the most random occasions, like, you'll be on a matinee, and you'll be like, yeah, like today she's feeling extra cheeky, so she's gonna like go and up to Bomb and, you know, just have total new interactions. And Kat's good with that. You can really think on your feet and just have fun with it, really.
I love that, because I think that it's a show that doesn't have the normal, like, this person does this moment at this exact thing. It does have not like huge freedom in the sense of like I can go and change my lyrics, or I can go change like the dance numbers, but you do have like moments where you can have those interactions. And that's part of what has, you know, why this podcast is sustained, is because that's what I find fascinating about the show is that you can tell me that you don't think they're brother and sister, and I have somebody else tell me like, they might be related, and that's okay because you can really play both of them a certain way, and all the other relationships that you can kind of fill in. Like, I'm curious to hear if you think there's a relationship with any of the like older cats. Like, is there a Jenny Anydots potential relationship, or is there any relationship to Grizabella or Busterford Jones or McCavity? Like, what are those other things that you played off of that you kind of figured out throughout the year?
I don't feel like we had many that weren't already written. I don't think there was any other relationships. There was always more friendships. Like, a lot of things get missed maybe from an audience, but when you do it all the time, like Skimbles usually with Jemima protecting her, so there may be like a relationship there, or that may have just been our cast, but that was how it was kind of set, that they'd mainly be together. And the Gumby trio and things, like, they always kind of form a relationship, but they are also in the, like, written in the show. I don't think there was any that was, I might have just totally missed them, but I don't think there was any like added ones, but there may have been. It might have just been sneaky.
Was there any moment during learning the story or learning the show that you were just like, wait a second, that is part of this? Like, that you just were very surprised about, that you didn't know from watching the YouTube clips?
I think there was a bit. I think, well, learning McCavity, I never really, I don't know why, but I just never thought of that I'd be in that number. And I'd watched clips of it, but it just never really clicked. And then when it was like, oh, so we're going to learn McCavity, and then we started dancing, and I was like, oh, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't like prepare for this. But yeah, so I always remember that was a bit of like a shock. And I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anything else that I was, before I did quite a lot of research into it. Like, wanted to make sure I was going in there knowing what I was going to do, getting myself in for. But
yeah, there was a couple for me that I didn't realize as a spectator watching, where it's like, as I've learned the story, I'm like, wait a second, what's going on with Demeter? Like, what's this storyline? What's going on here at the ball? Like, I didn't realize that that's what this is. So I always kind of find it fascinating if you're not like the super fan or someone that grew up kind of watching it, or even grew up watching it as a kid, to where a lot of that stuff will go right over your head intentionally, to all of a sudden hearing, wait a second, this relationship between McCavity and Demeter is what? I always found that fascinating. So I'm always curious if anybody walks into your rehearsals not like fully knowing some of those things, and like that almost aha moment of, what did I sign up for? Yeah.
I think it's always funny as well when you're rehearsing that, like, we're not in costume, or we're not in anything. So it's like, you see things, you're like, this is crazy. That this is like, there's quite a few, I remember there was quite a few times it's like, this is my job, like, to sit and watch people like do the most crazy things. And especially when it's not in costume, I always remember they'd be like, you become a cat when you've got your costume on, like before, because you feel a bit, not awkward, but it's a bit like so new to you to be a cat not looking like a cat. So yeah, I do remember thinking, this is like so odd to like look at sometimes from like an outsider's perspective. But yeah, it was really fun.
Did you have trouble when you're on tour of like, I know that talking to a lot of people, you have to kind of pick up the like cat motions and you have to kind of do and act certain ways. Do you have trouble turning that on and off between being like on stage and then when you're out? Did you like have some of those mannerisms just creep into your normal life?
I feel like for the majority of the tour, and probably still now, I still do things with like pause. Yeah. Because like even like waving, it would be like a look like a royal like wave. It was, everything was kind of paw-like, or like I just wouldn't use my thumbs. Yeah. Because I would have to like drill into, like I always found in rehearsals that was kind of the hardest part, was for me, it was reminding myself that I didn't have hands, I had paws, and like keeping that. So I probably just drilled it into myself for so long. So for quite a while in normal daily life, I would like see myself and I'd be like, yeah, they are paws. And sometimes as well, like just, I can't like sit on the floor without being in a cat position now. It's just become a bit of second nature.
Wow. When you were on this tour, did you have friends and family that were able to go come see you?
Yeah, I was very lucky. My mum and dad actually came to Zurich on opening night, which was like great to have them there and see it. And also they hadn't seen any of the rehearsal footage or anything, so they kind of didn't realize what I was doing, really. Yeah. Like they knew of what my mum could remember, and my dad knew what he'd seen and researched and Googled. But I remember after they saw the opening, they were like, I didn't realize you did so much. Yeah, you danced
the whole show, basically.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's like nonstop. And they loved it. Then they even booked to see it the day after, because they were like, we have to go watch it again. They watched twice then, and then my whole family came to the last ever show, which was so special. Nice. Like my brothers and their partners and my parents again. And also my old dance teacher came with people from my dance school from when I was like 6. So
that's amazing.
Like,
how
yeah.
Did you prep them for the show? Like I always love to hear, as someone who, like, you know, it's an interesting thing to go see, and it's like I was given zero information walking into it and new memory and nothing else. How much like did you tell them? Was it more focused on here's when you're going to see me, or did you try to explain some of the story to them?
I never really explained the story, because I feel like if I did that, they'd be trying to piece it together. I think it's better if you're seeing it totally new to just be open to just taking everything in. Like, just to not think of a story, or not just to watch and like admire, because it's just a whole experience. Like, there's cats in the audience, and then there's like pyros, and there's so much going on. It's probably quite overwhelming. So yeah, I kind of just say like, I say this line in the opening, and then you may have to kind of follow me around the stage for a bit to recognize which one I am. Because I always thought there was like me and Lottie, who played Jemima. Quite a lot of people would get us mixed up. So I was like, this one, I say this line, and then you may have to try and find me. And then I obviously said I sang Mungo and Rumpel. But everyone who came and watched was like, oh, we knew it was you instantly. Yeah. So that was kind of good, I think. But yeah, my dance teacher, I did warn, like I was like, you may, because they were sitting in, it was quite a far back theatre. It was quite hard to see from their seats. So I was like, just look out for the number. Yeah. And then you'll know which one. But yeah, and my brothers kind of had no idea of cats before. And now they're like, they thought it was great. They loved it. That's awesome.
Yeah, you have the advantage of having, there's not many numbers where they're like, I kind of joke that the show is a little bit of a sensory overload at a lot of moments. And then it's Mungo, Jerry, and Rumpleteazer are just the two of you out there. And so it's like, there's not many moments like that where it's just one cat or two cats. It's usually like most of you are on stage.
Sure.
So that's the one where it's a little easier to point, being like, hey, I'm one of the two doing the cartwheels here. I'm the early on the two that are out there. We'll be right back more to some crazy cats conversations after this short break. I would love to go back a little bit to just a tour, because it was a little bit of a different one in the sense that it was only international. And it stopped at some places that have had the like a longer standing version of the show. Like there was like a German production for a long time that did it in German, but you did an English version through all these stops, right?
Yeah.
So where was like your favorite place to go? Where was your favorite stop? How was that tour of traveling internationally all around Europe?
It was crazy to see everywhere and be everywhere. It was, especially after COVID, like you don't really travel, or I hadn't been on a plane for years, like a very long time, until like going to Zurich, which was where we started. And Switzerland, I think, is my favourite place that we went to. It's just gorgeous there, and it was so sunny, and we went swimming in the daytime and things. It was gorgeous. But as the tour, most of it that we did in Germany was during like summer, so I think it was like August time, and it was very hot there as well. And some days, like you're doing cats like 35 degrees I think we were in Dresden, and it was so hot and sunny. And in the days it was lovely, but then when we were putting on like the cat suits and the leg warmers, you're like, gosh, and doing all the dancing, it was really hot. But yeah, there was amazing places. Berlin was always somewhere that I wanted to visit, and was lucky enough to travel with cats to get to go there. And like you can do a lot of sightseeing in all these cities as well, and just really makes you appreciate how amazing the job is, and that you get the experience to do what you love and to travel. It's surreal to be able to do that, especially
and I mean, and in some like really large stages in a lot of cases. You mentioned that cats are in the crowd. Did you get to do Green Eyes in the crowd?
Yeah, we did.
Wow, you got okay. So the U.S. tour is not doing that still. So I'm glad that the international tours brought that back.
Yeah, we did. I think it may have been a couple of less people, I believe, but there was I think there was like 4 each side, and then we would cross like through the audience and then cross on the stage. And there was people walking, like Victoria, Bill Bailey, Mister would all come on as well. Yeah.
Was there any crazy scenarios with that? Because there were some wild stories from the 2016 revival about people being very scared, or like potentially, I think somebody hit somebody one time. And did you have any of those things bringing that back?
I had a lot of people would scream, like you'd just like sneak on and give a little flash of the eyes. And there was a lot of screaming people. Oh, the kids always love it. My favorite thing was seeing like the children's faces, like you could just see like the magic had started from that point. And they were like so invested from the get-go. And the adults, but it always makes me laugh, like the adults are the people that are terrified by it. It's usually like you get like people's like kids are with their mums, and their mums are the ones that are like screaming. Or I'm pretty sure that Harry as Mungo had to like crawl the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure he got quite a lot of people almost like getting in his way or like kicking him or something, because it's so dark. You just see something like crawl past you. It is probably quite terrifying.
Yeah, I was not ready for it when I saw the first production I saw, and so it did scare the living daylights out of me. I was thankfully not on an aisle, but
it's always
like,
the eye people.
Oh yeah, because it's you're especially like you're not really ready, or your eyes are focused forward too, so you're thinking like what's going to happen on stage, and then something comes from behind you. A little terrifying. Yeah,
for sure.
I want to pivot to a little bit of rapid fire. So if you could go on for any cat, ignore male, female, ignore whether it's in your vocal range or dance number, but if you could go one night on for any cat, which one would you want to perform as?
That's a point. I think I said I'm not a bomb, but I would love to just be a bomb. Like Lizzie, who played Bomb Ballerina. I was just every night watching McCavity, I was like, you're cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to do that. It's just such a sassy, fun, and like character. It's just so different to anything that I've done. So
Yeah.
bomb.
I kind of love that. As I've asked this question more, it's really fun to hear who wants to do something where it's like, I could totally be that cat, or it's where it's like, that's really not me, but I want to do that one time.
Yeah. It's so not me, but I'd give it a go.
Who are your favorite and least favorite cats? Ignoring cast members, just characters.
Okay. My favorite cat is probably, I love Misto. Everyone loves Misto, and just watching that every day is incredible. And must be so hard because it's such an intense number.
Yeah.
So I love Misto, but I also have a space in my heart for Skimble. I love Skimble. It used to be like one of my favorite numbers. So yeah.
What part did you do in the Skimble number?
What, like
when you build the train? Yeah, where were you on the train?
I was the front wheel, which was like the top of a pan, like a pan lid.
Okay.
And I was the front of that. I was just behind Mister with the torch.
Okay, got it.
I always liked that bit because you could see like all the audience.
Yeah. What about least favorite?
Can I say McCavity?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously not Aaron, who was McCavity, but yeah, it's just a bit scary.
Was there a whoever played Bus Gus? Was there an ensemble dancer in the beginning for that character?
So Hal played Christopher and Gus, and he danced the opening, I'm pretty sure.
Was he given a name for that? Was it Peter?
He was Asparagus, I think. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't Peter, though. I'm pretty sure it was Asparagus. And then it was Gus for in acting.
Yeah. Okay, because that's my answer. Has always been Peter. But I was like, I don't think Peter's in your show. But that's who Peter is.
Yeah, I think we had a smaller, I don't think we had a Peter, and we didn't originally have an Electra, and then Electra got added in as well. So it kind of started out quite small, and then we added characters in.
Awesome. What is your favorite song from the show?
Favorite song? I used to always love watching Gus, because it was so, like, the whole storytelling was, like, perfect in our cast. It was, like, so, some nights it was so emotional, you had to, like, tell yourself, like, no, don't give in. It's the same with Memory, it's like, no. But yeah, I used to love watching Gus.
That is an uncommon answer. So
really?
I love hearing it. Yeah. I mean, I think that people like the number, and it's one of the most common answers for my last question. But it's a lot more of the overture or McCavity or Memory and all kinds of other stuff. So I love hearing Gus, because that's just not one that's been said as often.
Yeah, I think it was just done. I think where we was placed as well, we could actually see it from the audio. Like, we were at the kind of angle so we could see it. So we kind of, it wasn't like some cats like behind Gus, so you can't really see anything that's going on. I did always like that, but obviously Memory was incredible. And also a bit of music I loved was the Gumby Trio. I always thought that sounded great. Yeah.
Since you did a European tour, I always like a fun question. So, which cat do you think would win Eurovision? If they were an individual performer for Eurovision, who do you think's winning?
Okay. I think. Ooh, who do I think? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Ooh, maybe Gumby.
Gumby.
She's just, she could do like a whole big performance as like bring out the tap shoes, have some really cool backing dancers behind her.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
Sing some really cool, I don't know, riffs, and I don't know. I just feel like she'd make it fun.
That's interesting, because I thought about this in a totally different way. I just thought about what performance would be like number would be the most interesting, and I kind of thought Tugger.
Okay.
Because it feels very rock star-ish, which would work there. But now that you're saying about like, oh, we have the background dancers, we can tap with this, Skimble might be interesting, because you could put the whole like stage building of a train and everything together. Yeah. Interesting.
I do think Tugger would be great though too.
There's a lot. I think that the Michael J. Rumpleteazer number's fun. would be in there. I think Mustafali's obviously with the dance would be there. I kind of eliminated a few. I was like, White Cat's probably too quiet and slow for it. But yeah.
A little mashup, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's the most important question. I have argued at length that I don't think Grizabella is the right Jellicle choice. So do you want to defend Grizabella, or do you want to pick a different cat to send to the Heaviside Layer?
I think I have to defend Grizabella.
Okay, tell me why.
I just think that is the story. I know that's like quite a basic common answer, but I also just think, I always remember being told when we were learning the show of how, because I know like memory touches so many people. People used to message me from after coming to see the show being like memory was so emotional, and like I remember being told in rehearsals that even children really who have, or anyone who's kind of felt like maybe a bit lonely or like has had a difficult journey maybe, or anyone who's can really just relate to Grizabella. And that is also not just adults, some children do as well. And you just see how much that her being chosen really makes the story like have such a big impact on some people, and like hearing people's views and stories on that, I just don't think it could be anyone else. I think it has to be her.
It's interesting you say that, because what I'm hearing you say is actually a big reason of why I don't think she is the choice, which is for the exact same reasons, which is that like she's got this beautiful number and she's being accepted back into her family, and she's like having her redemption story. And I find it weird to immediately then kill her.
But she's going to the Heaviside Layer.
I know,
it's
but
gonna
like,
be better.
why can't she spend 1 year with the family and go next year?
Okay, yeah, I get. I do see that, but I just think that she wanted to. This was her time. That old Duke knows that she is gonna be better in the Heaviside Layer. He's trying to help her. He's really, she's been wanting this for so long, and now is her time. She's got what she wanted. She's come for a reason, and she's got it.
Let me ask you this question then: what's Old Deuteronomy's criteria? Like, how does he decide every year who goes? Does it change every year? Is it different? Is it the same every year?
I think he probably goes through the year and just notices all the little things. So he's like, they are not right this year. It's like Father Christmas. Okay. He's like making a list, naughty and nice. Yeah. He's like, like Mungo and Rumple, definitely not, because they've been stealing things, and and they're young and they don't need to. And then he's seeing the pain and the loneliness and all the things that Grizz has gone through, and we see that as well from an audience. And then he's like, she deserves it. She's the person this year that I'm choosing her. She is on the nice list. Okay,
so then if next year she goes this year, does someone have to have that like crazy pain next year to be chosen?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's going to change.
I think next year, maybe it's Gus. Maybe it's Gus's time next year.
Did you ever talk about who's next year and who was even last year as a cast?
I don't think we did. I think there might have been I think a lot of people are like, it should be Gus, really, at this point. And I think probably we did say in the future, but I don't really remember there ever being a conversation about, who has previously been chosen.
It's just me that thinks about these things. Okay, got it.
There may have been. There really could have been. Sometimes I might have just been in my own little world. Yeah.
Okay. So your argument is that she, like, this is all she's coming back for, so she needs this, and she's here for that moment. And this, I mean, I'm not going to argue the song is powerful, so there's no arguments there. Yeah. I just find it weird that, like, the whole song is about being accepted back to family. And it's like, cool, thank you for accepting me. Now let me go.
But I think we're all accepting, like, after the song and after the moment, when we all go to Grizz and we, pass her in our version, we'd pass her down the line and we'd, like, send her up in all this choreography, and it was so like powerful, and it was in such a positive way that she probably felt the family as we would before she went, and then she thought, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. This is my time. And she was probably just happy to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I still struggle with it. I struggle with it a lot because I get it. I understand the argument. I've never not understood the argument. Obviously, the show's been running for 40 plus years. But yeah. I kind of look at it as like let's let her spend 1 year and like be mom again to the many cats that I think she's actually the mother of. And get to spend that time and then go next year.
Maybe, yeah. I do get that. I get that too. I get both sides.
Okay, good. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just using this to try to convince people that I'm right and Andrew is wrong. But I appreciate it. This has been super fun. Thank you so much for coming on and telling a little bit about your tour and about your experience. How can people stay in touch with you?
Well, I mainly just kind of post on Instagram. That's kind of the only platform I really use.
Perfect.
Which is just Ella with 2 A's .Kemp.
Okay. We will also link it and we'll have everyone follow along. Yeah. Trying to build multiple social media platforms is tedious. So I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But this has been so fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
And thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Wrong Cat Died, or check out our website, thewrongcatdied.com.